Hey guys, welcome back to the Triangle 4. This is Jim. Anyway, what are we working on today? Been a long winter. I haven't done any videos in a while. This spring we've been busy. Life happens. Personal stuff, family stuff, farm stuff. And not everybody likes to be in the videos. My dad and my daughter don't, so they help me with a lot of projects, so I just don't turn the camera on. But anyway, today, I've got my Kubota L2850 with an LA500, I think is the, we'll take a better look at it in a minute. Yeah, my loader. Front loader LA500, and it's been slowly leaking. Well, this spring we were digging out stumps with the front end, not with the front end, with the backhoe attachment, leveling the ground with the front end, and it just got so bad that I was actually worried about damaging the transmission or a hydraulic pump. So in parked, and here she sits. Problem with the LA500, it's an older, obsolete loader, probably along with my 35-year-old tractor that you're looking at. Anyway, so these cylinders, they don't make these anymore. But I could buy the rebuild kit. Wonderful. I bought the seals, got them. We put this thing through its paces trying to get that gland unscrewed. And it's not the kind that I had on the backhoe where you have the wire that goes through. These actually unthread, whatever you want to call it. So we tried, different tools. Got the pipe wrench out with the long extension, heat on them. What else? Yeah, even at the end, just a chisel trying to make a flat spot and just beat it, counterclockwise to get it to unscrew. Ended up it just shattered the end of the gland. I'll show you that in just a minute. So I went and I looked for new cylinders or replacement, form, fit, function, and nothing from Kubota without a lot of modifying. And I finally found some from an aftermarket company I've never heard of, but I'll show you that in just a minute. You have to excuse the bench here. So this unit, this guy right here, from a company, and they're European made, but whatever, Magister Hydraulics. I found them doing a Google search, putting in the stroke, the size of the bore, and the pins on each end, where they attach into the tractor. And this is what came up. And this company was half price of anything even close by Kubota, which, hey, I love Kubota, I love the quality, but I gotta believe these cylinders, there isn't that much difference. It's probably the paint. So what did I run into? I told you with the old one we couldn't get the gland out. This thing just got obliterated. We tried unscrewing it, pipe wrench, getting on there with it just shattered. There was no using it. So Dad was worried I had the wrong threads. They were maybe left-handed or something. So we ended up cutting out this little section. And we were absolutely, I was right. Normal right-hand threads. All there was is they have this gap between the threads and the end of the gland, and it just got a little rusty in there in about a 1 inch area. Sorry, kids going by in the four-wheeler. Anyway, so it was just a little rust that was holding that in, but it was enough to, we were not able to get that apart, which is a real shame. So, on to the new one. Like I said, everything looks pretty close. Excuse me, this end's a little beefier for the most part. But the real problem was this came with an end just like you see right here. And, oh shoot, the Kubota one had this. And you can see how narrow this is, but it's also long. This length right here, even from the center of that hole to where this flat ended, was about 1 inch bigger here. And the brackets that this fit between, this distance, was interfering with this cylinder, and this cylinder just doesn't look it the way I'm holding it. But the cylinder is actually quite a bit wider than this flange that went into the loader. So our solution was cut this off, get that out of the dirt because I'll probably reuse it someday. I'm gonna grind this flush. I already cut this off. I'm gonna weld that onto the end of that, which that's not the worst thing in the world if that's all the modifying I had to do. That's the reason I've got this rod extended, is I did not want the other seal inside of here down near this end when I'm welding it. So the other thing I ran into is I took out the old fittings on this Kubota, and of course this is pipe thread versus, as the drawing shows right there, O-ring boss. And different sizes, so I'm gonna have to go get the 9/16 O-ring boss to whatever JIC fitting size this is, I forget. So that's what I'm up to. A little bit of modifying, a little bit of welding, and this was really both cylinders. Here's the other one just hanging down here. Oh gosh, and everything's all grease. But if you can see, this is, that is not grease, that's a seal sticking out right there, the wiper seal. And of course I'm getting hydraulic fluid's been leaking out of that slowly for a while, and it just got a lot worse. So this one's gonna have to be done too. But Dad's worried. Oh yeah, this is what it looked like before. You can see that flat spot right there. And that's why I need to, it just, the new one wouldn't fit up into here with that kind of clearance because of this this distance on the radius on the bottom here of where it attaches. All right, so hopefully soon get this welded up, get this whole area cleaned up, and be back in business because I use this tractor for everything. Okay guys, here's that cylinder. And I just put a towel on it after, or while I was welding it. It's real important you don't get any kind of splatter or anything else on that cylinder, or you will tear up your seals. So anyway, here's the end for the other original cylinder that I had to weld down there. And I didn't fill in this hole. I actually put a little weld in there, which I think helps it a little bit. It's not a beautiful weld, but hey, for a, you know, farm type welder with a stick welder and a little grinding, it's pretty darn good. Now, one thing Dad really wanted me to do is on this piece that butted up against the end of this, he wanted me to grind a big chamfer into it. Well, I ground the little chamfer, probably 1/8 of an inch or so. On the two flats, I didn't bother on the rounds, and I don't think it's a problem. See, this thing is not gonna take any kind of torquing, or not any real amount of torquing. It's mostly 90% of its life is going to be compression. This and this pushing against each other. 10% of it might be or sorry, compression, where these are pushing towards each other. 10% of its life might be tension, where they're trying to pull apart if I'm back blading. But I don't do too much of that, just with a little gravel sometimes, or dirt. Either way, compression or tension, I don't think this is going to be an issue. Be real careful, you know. This is a plastic plug and it did get hot. I just kept kind of putting a little bit of water on there. You don't want any kind of splatter to get down into your threads or where the O-ring boss there is going to seal. Other than that, no, it was pretty straightforward. I'm waiting for fittings. Of course, the old ones didn't work, so I had to get here. These were 3/8 O-ring boss, 90 degree to 1/2 inch JIC, the 37 degree ones. You know, a lot of measuring. Some of you guys probably know your hydraulic fittings. I don't. So I have to go to a lot of tables, a lot of measuring with my verniers, figuring all that stuff out. So anyway, I think we're in business. The only other thing I'll do is, in case I get a little splatter in this hole, I'll just take a reamer and ream that out a little bit. I've got reamers for my lathe that I can just put on a drill and run through there real quick. Alright, so that's the latest update. Next, we'll be putting it together and seeing if it works. Alright, I don't know if I'll post this video or wait until I get it finished and hooked up and test it out. But if I just post it the way it is, then I'll make another video later on with the new cylinder attached. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Hope this helps somebody.